Hi, welcome to Yoga with Tony, and thank you for tuning in. We're going to talk about creating space for yoga in your life, in your schedule, and also creating space in your home or office where you can have a nice quiet place to do the yoga. Also, creating space in your mind. We have to give ourselves permission to do things that will serve us. There's self care and self love, and yoga would definitely be an option for you to do that. So we're going to start out our practice with Sukhasana or easy seat. So we're just going to get comfortable in a seated position with our backs erect and our sit bones should be solid on the mat. If you need to move flesh away from the sit bones so you can really feel solid, that's perfectly fine. I would invite you to recognize and start, just notice the quality of your breath. Notice the inhale and the exhale. The rise and fall of your chest. Noticing the movement of your belly. And then slowly increase the depth of your inhale and the length of your exhale. Again, just paying attention to the quality here. We can drop into Ujjayi Pranayama or that ocean breath. And that's just accomplished by constricting the back of your throat until you hear that audible sound. The purpose of that and the benefit of it is to create an anchor for your mind to your practice. It also anchors breath with movement, which is important in our yoga practice. So inhale, just lift your head and neck, straighten out your neck, lifting your head to the sky. Exhale, dropping your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, lifting your head to the sky. Exhale, dropping your shoulders. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, dropping your head towards the right, bringing right ear to right shoulder, feeling that stretch in your left side of your neck. And then back to center. On an exhale, we're going to lean to the left, creating space on the right side. Feeling a stretch there. Back to center. Inhale. Exhale, back to the right. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. On the next inhale, we're going to lift our arms up overhead, palms facing. Exhale, dropping our shoulders away from our ears. Inhale, sparking our fingers up. Exhale, leaning to the right. If you want to put your right hand on the mat for stability, you can. Inhale, lifting perhaps a little bit. Exhale, dropping a little bit further into that stretch. Keeping both sit bones on the mat. Inhale, back to center. Exhale over to the left. Inhale, rise a little. Exhale, settling in. Really feeling that side body and that rib cage opening up. Inhale, full expression. Exhale. Inhale back to center. Exhale, slowly allowing our arms to float down, rotating our hands and wrists. When you get to about shoulder height, you can reverse direction, allowing our hands to come back all the way down to side body, resting on the mat. So from here, we're going to just turn. Actually, I'm going to turn. You're probably already on your mat, the way you should be. Sitting in about the center position. Sitting tall into staff pose for just a second. And then bring your right foot just next to your left knee. And there's a few different positions here. There's options here, variations. You can put your right foot inside your left knee, outside your left knee, or you can also bring your left foot back down towards your hip in this position. So whatever is best for your body. I like to do this one, at least for right now. So we're going to bring our right hand, whichever position you're in is fine, but we're going to bring our right hand to our right hip, kind of like a kickstand. Inhale, lift your left arm up, overhead. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lifting high, head and shoulders up. Exhale, twist. Inhale for a full expression. Exhale, release. And we're going to come all the way around for a counter. And then release back to center. We can drop our right foot, sending it long, bringing our left foot up. Again, there goes the free position, inside knee, outside knee, binding your foot behind you, next to your hip. Feeling solid in this position. Left hand next to left hip. Inhale, right arm goes up. Exhale, twist. Inhale for a full expression here. Exhale, twist. Looking over that left shoulder. And then release on an exhale, coming around for a counter. And then back to the center, dropping that other foot, sending it long. Now, if you want to come back on your hands just a little bit, bringing both of your feet up and just kind of windshield wipering your knees to the left and the right. Get some movement in that hip. And then back to center. So we're going to go ahead and kick your feet and knees around behind you, coming to a tabletop position. Now we want to feel a solid foundation here with our shoulders over our hands and wrists, our hips over our knees. Just feeling a solid foundation here. This is tabletop position, and this is an opportunity to lengthen your neck. Stretching your head towards the top of the mat. Finding length in your neck. Tailbone towards your heels. Finding length in your low back. Do a full round of breath here. Take a deep inhale. Bringing your gaze up, dropping your belly and chest. Exhale, tucking your tailbone, arching your back, pushing through the mat, dropping your gaze between your knees for cat. Inhale back to sacred cow. Exhale back to cat. Inhale, release back to the center, back to tabletop. The next position we're going to do is child's pose. So if you want to just lean back into your hips, plant your hands firmly on the mat, and push. Like you're pushing the mat away from you, the top of the mat away from you. And that gives you a nice stretch in your low back. If you want to rest your head on the mat, that is more than fine. Child's pose is a great rest position. If you need a break in the middle of the session. So it's stretching your low back. And we're going to come back to tabletop. And then curling your toes under, we're going to come into plank, high plank. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, lower to low plank. Inhale for up dog. Exhale for down dog. First down dog of the session. You want to start bending your knee, sending the opposite heel to the mat, walking your dog out. Really feeling that stretch in your calf and your hamstring. Waking up your knees. Inhale, lift both heels up off the mat. Exhale, send them both back down, stretching out both at the same time. Inhale, lifting your heels again. Exhale, bending your knees, rock or hop forward to a forward bend, forward fold. Now you can allow your hands to just hang free, or you can go into ragdoll by grasping each elbow with the opposite hand. Shaking your head yes, shaking your head no. Allowing gravity to just bring your head towards the mat. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we're going to root to rise all the way up to tall mountain. Hands to prayer position. And back to the heart, but for gratitude. So we're going to do some standing positions now. The first one we're going to do is Tadasana, or mountain pose. So just make sure we're having a solid foundation, much like the other positions we've been in. It starts with a solid foundation. So our feet should be about hip distance apart, or for slightly more challenging, you can bring your feet closer together. But if you want to feel really solid and grounded, just make sure that your feet, either position that they're in, your feet are grounded, all four corners of your feet. Now, you're having soft knees, not bent, not locked, but just soft, maybe a micro bend in the knees. Your hips should be positioned to where your tailbone is just gently pointing towards your heels. Suck in your abs, those lower ribs, tightening up, firming up your abs. Bring your shoulders up towards your ears, back, away, and then pushing those shoulders down. Palms forward. Sparking your fingers towards the mat. Chest will come up just a little bit, bringing your crown towards the sky, tucking your chin just a little bit. This is our mountain pose. It brings confidence to our minds and gives us that solid foundation physically as well. Inhale, bring arms up overhead, palms facing, touching, and we're going to exhale, leaning to the right. Now sending your hips to the left, that left hip going out further, making sure both feet are grounded into the mat. And back to center. Inhale, reaching high. Exhale to the left. Sending the right hips out towards the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, allowing our arms to come all the way down. Making a soft fist and putting it just in the middle of your back. Just above your hip. We're going to do a standing back bend. So as you inhale, lift your head and chest towards the sky, bringing your elbows and shoulder blades together, arching that back just a little bit, sending your gaze back behind you. Exhale back to center. Inhale, lift your chest, let it shine. Exhale, release. So we're going to meet at the top of our mat and do a couple of sun A's, and then we're going to start increasing the heat here just a little bit. So we're going to meet at the top of the mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, come all the way down, planting your hands, bring your feet back and lower. Inhale for up dog. And exhale for down dog. Walking your dog again here. Inhale, both heels up. Exhale, bend your knees and hop or walk forward. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your rise all the way up to tall mountain. And our hands to heart center for gratitude. We're going to do 2 more of those, just a little bit faster pace, now that you know what the routine is. So, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands back. From high plank to low plank. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lifting your hands. Exhale, bend your knees, come forward. Forward fold. Inhale for half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root to rise all the way up. Gratitude. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, feet back. High plank, low plank, up dog, and down dog. At your pace. We're going to meet in down dog for a full breath. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, bend your knees. Come forward to forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root to rise all the way up. And hands to heart center. Give it a chance to shake that out for just a minute. The next will be sun B's. So again, we're going to meet at the top of the mat. This time from Tadasana, we'll go into chair pose first. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, sparking your fingers. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, feet back, and lower. Inhale for up dog. Exhale for down dog. Inhale, lift your right heel to the sky. Exhale, bring it through. Plant it between your hands. Inhale for warrior. Exhale, back down. Frame your foot. High, low, up, back to down. Inhale, lift your left foot. Exhale, bring it through. Inhale for warrior. Exhale back down. Meet back in down dog. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, hop forward. Inhale for half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root your eyes all the way up. Hands to heart center. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for half lift. Exhale, hands down, feet back and lower. Up dog. And down dog. On your next inhale, right foot rises. Exhale, bring it through between your hands. Inhale for warrior. Exhale, back down. All the way to the mat. Inhale for up dog. And exhale for down. Left foot rises. Bring it on through. Movement with breath. Inhale. And exhale. Lower. Up dog. And down. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, hop forward. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your rise all the way up to tall mountain. Hands to gratitude. Allow your arms to just float down the side body. And if you need to shake that out, and maybe give yourself a little twist and movement, whatever feels good to your body in this moment. Before we go to our next part of the session. So we're going to meet in the middle of the mat for our warrior dance. So this is going to be a few positions together. We're going to start with our left foot stepping forward and our right foot back for warrior one. An alternative is to lift your heel, your right heel off the mat with your heel just over your toes for a crescent lunge. But either position you're comfortable with, your left knee will be no further than your ankle and should be slightly pointed out towards that pinky toe. You'll feel a solid foundation here with engaging your core, engaging your quads and hamstrings, sucking muscle into bone. So feeling that solid foundation, inhale, lifting both arms up. Exhale, settling into that lunge. Inhale, and exhale, shoulders come down. Inhale, sparking your fingers up. Exhale, your arms float down to parallel, and we're going to bow and arrow into warrior two. Now, our left foot probably doesn't change much. Our right foot will go more towards a parallel position to the back edge of the mat. Arms should be parallel to the floor. Left fingers reaching to the top of the mat. Right fingers reaching to the back of the mat. Inhale, lifting your head and chest. Exhale, letting your shoulders drop. Holding this position for one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. One more deep inhale. And another exhale. Bring your left palm forward, up, face up, lean, and then bring your hand back overhead like you're throwing a softball behind you. This is our exalted warrior position. Inhale, sparking your fingers up towards the ceiling. Exhale, settling into your lunge. Inhale for a full expression. Exhale, windmill your arms around for extended side angle, bringing your right hand and fingers reaching to the sky. Your left hand and forearm gently resting on your knee, or if you have a block, or you can come all the way down to the mat. Again, whatever's in your practice. Inhale for a full expression. Exhale, windmill both your arms on around, framing that left foot. And we're going to just do a lunge position here. So you can either stay here in this high lunge, or you can drop your knee to the mat for a low lunge. Lifting your head and chest, you'll feel a nice stretch in your right quad and hip flexor, as well as your left hamstring. One more full breath here. Inhale. Exhale, bring that left foot back to meet for high plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale for an up dog. And exhale for down dog. Inhale, lifting both heels. Exhale, bend your knees, hop forward, forward fold. We're going to just stop here for just a second, a couple more breaths. Either ragdoll or letting your hands hang. You can even put the tops of your toes stepping onto your fingertips for gorilla pose and bringing your elbows out, creating space there, and a nice stretch in your low back. Your knees can be straight or slightly bent. And then release that. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your eyes all the way up to tall mountain. And exhale. So we're going to do all of those positions on the other side. This time the right foot goes forward and the left foot goes back. So again, we can have a couple of different positions here. In the warrior stance for your legs, your right knee will go no further than the ankle, pointing out to that pinky toe just a little bit. The toes on your left foot will be angled and pointing towards the long edge of the mat. Or you can bring that heel up into a crescent lunge position. Either way, you're going to have a solid stance, core, quads, hamstrings. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, settle into the lunge. Inhale, sparking your fingers. Exhale, settling into your range. Inhale for a full expression. Exhale, arms come down parallel, bow and arrow, warrior two. Now again, your left foot, the knife edge of your foot should be parallel to the mat. And your heel from your front foot will be either intersecting your left foot or perhaps pointing towards the heel, but they will be perpendicular to each other. Inhale, lift your arms up. Your gaze should be over that right hand, sparking your right fingers to the top of the mat, left fingers to the back of the mat. Inhale, lifting your head and chest. Let your heart stop. Exhale, dropping your shoulders. Keeping both arms parallel. Very good. And we're going to drop our left hand behind us. Inhale, reaching forward, palm up. Exhale, soft fall behind us. Exalted warrior. Reaching hand and fingers up towards the sky. On your inhale. Exhale, settling into that lunge. Inhale for a full expression. Exhale, windmilling your arms around for extended side angle. If you have a block, you can use that. Or you can rest your hand or forearm gently on your right knee. Reaching your fingers up towards the sky, allowing your left chest and ribs to open up towards the ceiling. Inhale for a full expression. Exhale, windmilling your arms on around, framing that right foot. We're going to go into either the high lunge or the low lunge, whatever's best for you. Getting a nice stretch in your right hamstring and left hip flexor. If you know your anatomy, you're really getting a good iliopsoas stretch here. You can also come up a little higher with your torso, getting even more of a stretch. If that's too intense for you, you can stay right here. Deep inhale. Exhale, sending your right foot back. Inhale here. Exhale, lower. Inhale for up dog. And exhale for down dog. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, walk or hop forward. We're going to hang here for just a few breaths. Again, you can have ragdoll, hang, gorilla pose. This gorilla pose, it really gets a nice stretch in that low back, especially if you bend your knees just a little bit. And then we're going to release. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise all the way up. Tall mountain. Exhale, the gratitude. Release your arms to your side. And just shake things out a little bit. Just move with what your body needs. The next thing we're going to do is our a balance position called tree pose. Or you may want to come off your mat to feel more solid, or you can be on your mat, depending on how you want to do that. So we're going to start in that Tadasana pose, and from there you'll find balance, and then we'll go into some movement that'll really increase your chances of being able to stay in that pose. There's no judgment if you fall or if your tree tends to weigh and you sway in the wind, that's fine. But just make sure safety is paramount. So starting in Tadasana, solid foundation, knees soft, feet grounded, hips, tailbone pointing towards your heels, chest up, ribs in, fingers spark down, palms forward. Just notice that foundation, and then we're going to slowly shift our weight over into our left foot. Now you want to create a space, a line from your ankle through your belly button all the way up. Really feel that lift, that shifting of weight into the left foot, bringing your right foot out at an angle, kind of like a little kickstand. Now this is a good place to start, and if this is all the further you get, that's more than fine. You can start bringing your left foot up your leg a little bit. If you want to bring it up to your thigh, that's fine, as long as it's not on the knee. And perhaps your hands can be at heart center. Really feeling the solid foundation, keeping your gaze or your drishti at a solid one spot. Maybe growing your tree limbs. Noticing breath. And we're going to bring our hands back down, bringing our knee forward, knee up just a little bit, a little bit more balance there, and then release. Now, if you want to roll out your left foot and ankle, get some blood circulating in there. We're just working really hard. Now we're going to do the same thing, other side. Again, starting with that solid foundation of Tadasana or mountain pose. Focusing on a center spot, a drishti, helps your balancing. Feel that weight shifting over into your right foot, strengthening it, keeping your right leg solid. Left foot creates that kickstand. It can come up to your leg, to your low leg, or higher up. Any wobbling is okay. We just embrace all the movements, giving yourself permission. Hands at heart center. Or perhaps we got to readjust, which is fine. It happens. And then growing our tree limbs. Every day is a different day, and sometimes your positions look a little differently. Sometimes they're swaying. Hands to heart center. Bring your left knee up. A little bit more balancing. And then back down. And we can rotate our leg and hip out our knees and kind of get some circulation there. Very good. So we're going to come to the top of our mat just again. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands down, feet back. We're going to stay in plank for just a couple of breaths. Inhale. And exhale. One more full round. On an exhale, we're going to lower. Coming all the way down to our mat this time. Keeping our hands underneath our shoulders. And just releasing our feet to where the tops of our feet are resting on the mat. You bring your chin, rest your chin on the mat. Inhale, pushing solid into the mat with your hands, lifting just slightly into baby cobra. Exhale back down. Inhale, lifting a little higher. Exhale back down. Inhale for a full expression. Exhale back down. Now we're going to bring our head turned, resting your favorite cheek on the mat. Bring your arms back down the side body. Lifting your feet in the air and just windshield wipe your feet back and forth. Getting some motion in that low back, giving your quads a little massage there. Back to center. And bring your feet down. Perhaps going to the opposite side for a few seconds to counter, resting on your other cheek. And bringing your arms back, hands underneath your shoulders, curling your toes under, coming back into tabletop, and then all the way back into child's pose. This will help counter the movements we just did, planting your hands firmly on the mat, pushing the mat away from you, stretching out your shoulders, feeling that stretch in your low back, pushing your hips into your heels. And then release, coming back to tabletop. Now we're going to come back, bring your knees forward. We're going to come back into a seated position. Sitting our feet long. This is our staff pose. So we want to find our sit bones again, just like we did earlier. Inhale, lifting your chest. Exhale, bending, hinging at the waist. We don't want to round our back just yet. Inhale, bringing your chest up. Exhale, bending, hinging at the waist. And from here, if you want to start bringing your arms forward, you can either grasp your shins, your ankles, your feet or your toes. One more full breath here. And release. We'll bring our hands back behind us, feet on the mat. Perhaps bring our feet a little bit further than hip distance, almost mat distance apart, and do some windshield wipers with our knees and our legs. Feels really good on our low back and our glutes and our hips. And then back to center. Grasping our knees and just slowly allowing ourselves to lower down the mat. Just going to come into a supine position. With our feet firmly planted on the mat, push into the mat just a little bit to where you can feel your low back starting to flatten against the mat. And you can even kind of rock your hips a little bit, kind of giving your low back a little bit of massage. And then bring your knees all the way into your chest. Hugging your knees into your chest. An alternative here is you can allow your knees to float out a little bit and grasp the outer edges of your feet for happy baby pose. In this one, you're going to feel a little bit more of a stretch in your inner thighs. If you rock back and forth a little bit, you can feel that massage in your low back. And again, hug both of those knees into your chest. Keeping your right knee in your chest, allow your left foot to go long on the mat. And then bring that knee out to more towards your shoulder, towards your armpit, just a little bit. Inhale. Exhale, allow that left leg and knee to float over. Your right knee to float over to the left side for a supine spinal twist. stacking your hips one over the other. Your right hip should be stacked gently directly over the left. Reaching your right arm long and gazing over that right arm. That right hand. Another breath here. And release your knee back towards the center. And then allow it to float all the way down to supine tree. This counters the stretch we just did. Allowing your leg and your hips and your glutes to just fall heavy on the mat. And we're going to send our foot long. Right foot meets the left. Now bring your left foot, left knee into your left chest. Allow it to come over just a little bit towards that shoulder, into the armpit. Deep inhale. Exhale, let the right knee float over, the left knee float over to the right. I always get those rights and lefts mixed up, don't I? Stacking your hip, one on top of the other. Left arm goes out to the left side of the mat. And staring out over that left hand. You should feel a nice stretch in your low back here. You'll also feel a stretch in your IT band. Get a nice stretch there. For you runners and cyclists. And release your knee back to center. And then allow it to float out to the left side of your mat, letting it fall heavy. Again, supine tree. A lot easier than the balancing version of this, isn't it? And then we're going to send that foot long on the mat. We're going to do one more pose before we do our inversions. Bringing our feet back up to the mat. Just like we did before, gently feel yourself pushing into the mat with your feet firmly solid. And feel that low back kind of flattening out. This time we're going to press a little bit more, lifting your hips towards the sky. Inhale, lifting your hips. Bring your hands up underneath you, walking your hands, maybe walking your shoulders underneath your back, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Inhale for a full expression. Exhale, release. Unbinding. Bringing your knees to your chest one more time. Full breath here. Inhale, lifting your feet towards the sky for an inversion. You can do an inversion of your choice. This is just a simple inversion. If you have a block, you can put it under your hips. If you don't have a block, you can just place your hands underneath your sacrum. And this takes the intensity out of your abs. It allows more of a calmness. And you can stay here. You can bring your feet up a little higher. Maybe do some movement with your legs. Whatever feels good in your practice. Or whatever inversion of your choice. Headstand, shoulder stand. Here for one more breath. And release on an exhale. So come all the way down, allowing your knees to come to the mat, your feet to come to the mat. for everybody's favorite pose, Shavasana or corpse pose. Allowing your body to fall heavy on the mat. Finding your breath again. Paying attention to the quality of your breath once again. Perhaps noticing the difference between your breath now and at the beginning of the session. Giving yourself permission to let go completely. Allowing your head and neck and shoulders to fall heavy on the mat. Feeling your back and your hips, releasing all tension. Letting your hamstrings and your knees and your heels to fall heavy on the mat. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. And there's a transition between the inhale and the exhale. Notice that at the bottom of your exhale, there's a slight pause. That's where stillness comes to reside in your body, where you can recognize peace, stillness, inner peace, calmness. You have access to that at any point during your yoga session or even off the mat. At any time, you can find that stillness and calmness at the bottom of your breath. Maybe finding some movement in your toes and fingers. Starting to wake things back up, maybe moving your head just a little bit. Moving your shoulders, your hips. I would invite you to keep your eyes closed, creating space for you to keep focused on the inner self, paying attention to the current moment. Bring your knees up, feet planted on the mat for just a second, rolling over to your favorite side into a fetal position. Resting here for just a moment. Be sure to support your head with either a block or a blanket or your arm or hand. Keeping eyes closed, or perhaps a soft gaze. Bringing your free hand, gently press into the mat, pushing yourself back up to a seated position. Coming back into Sukhasana, easy seat. Finding comfort. Maybe bring your hands to either your knees or your thighs. Lifting your head and chest towards a nice comfortable position, an erect spine, but comfortable. We're going to close out the practice with a 4-count box breath. So as a description, we're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, exhale through your mouths for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and we're going to do that 3 full times. First, let's take a deep breath together. Exhale. And we start. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Mouth, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. No counting. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And release. Going back to normal breath again. We're going to inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, slowly bring our hands down, resting our thumbs at our forehead for just a second, reminding ourselves to think clear thoughts and remind ourselves to have wisdom. Bringing our thumbs down to our lips, reminding us to speak truth and kindness. And lowering our thumbs all the way down to our heart, reminding us to be grateful and love without ceasing others and ourselves. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste. And thank you for joining me on the mat today. God bless.